Find a possible solution for f of x given that f of x equals integral ln of x over x squared dx. Okay, so first thing we always want to try and do is, well, we want to start with power rule. If power rule works, we go for that, but it usually won't. And so the next thing that we'd like to try for is substitution. And so for substitution, we look at one thing that's a derivative of another thing, which we kind of almost have here because the derivative of natural log of x would be 1 over x, but we have 1 over x squared here. So that's probably not going to quite work. So our next bet would probably then be integration by parts. And so start by writing up the formula. uv prime equals uv prime plus u prime v. Rearranging things, we get uv prime equals uv quantity prime minus u prime v. Integrate everything, we have u dv equals uv minus integral v du. Okay, so here's our formula. From here then we want to choose what our u's and v's are. And for that we use the mnemonic ILATE. So we have inverse trigonometric, log, which in this case will be natural log right there, algebraic, which this will be 1 over x squared, trigonometric, and exponential. So we're going to say that u equals natural log of x. And the reason we'll do that is because natural log of x is higher on this little hierarchy of priority than algebraic. And this really isn't a hard, fast rule. It's just this will generally work best. You can do pretty much anything you want in math as long as it's allowed. Okay, that sounds kind of catch-22-ish. But you can go down the wrong path in math, and that's okay as long as you follow the rules. But if you end up in the wrong place, you're just going to have to double back. So taking the wrong path isn't necessarily that bad. Just like choosing the wrong ILATE, the wrong u for integration by parts isn't that big of a tragedy. So here then we have u equals, I'll change colors just to keep my interest satisfied, natural log of x, dv, so dv right here, that will then be 1 over x squared, which I'll write as x to the negative 2. v will then be, let's use the power rule, we'll do x, so minus 2 plus 1, which is negative 1, divided by the resultant, which would be divided by negative 1, which is the same as multiplying by negative 1. So this is negative 1 over, we can do better than that. Negative 1 over x. du will equal 1 over x, because the derivative natural log of x is 1 over x. And I guess I should probably put in the dx there too. And you can think of that dx as coming from the chain rule, where we take the derivative of the interior being x. It also makes the formula work out nicer too. More formally correct. Okay. So now we have our formula, plug things in, we do u times v, so we'd have natural log of x over x, and we have a minus right there, minus integral of v du. So negative 1 over x times 1 over x. Are we good with that? I feel good with that, but I'm not sure. Maybe. We're probably okay here. Okay, I'm going to dx. 1 over x dx, dv du, yeah, it seems reasonable. Okay. So then we're going to have negative natural log of x over x. There's probably an absolute value sign on that. Plus integral of x to the negative 2 dx. Rewriting everything, negative natural log of x over x. Plus, okay, so x then goes to the negative 1 divided by negative 1, and we are left with a total of negative natural log of x plus 1 over x. So see what I did right here. So this x to the negative 1, that's the same as x on the bottom, and that negative, that can just go right there. So we combine this, natural log of x minus plus 1, because I factored out the negative, all over x. That's kind of a strange looking answer. But it's a possible answer, which it means I'm not at least completely wrong. Or the mistake that I made was a common human performance trap, which is also possible. Okay, so, let's see here. Natural log of x, check, 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 and check. Okay, so this will be the answer right there. Backtrack, look at what we did real quick. So we were given this integral to do. Didn't quite know how to do it. So we kind of settled on integration by parts, mostly because substitution wouldn't work. It wasn't obvious that substitution would work. So we went through the integration by parts, used ILATE to determine which u to use. And we ended up with natural log of x. You almost always use natural log of x because inverse trigonometrics are fairly rare. So we did u equals natural log of x. We then, that kind of settled that dv then would be x to the negative 2, which is 1 over x squared. We went through the formula, plugged things in, and we got kind of a strange looking answer that also turned out to be correct. So that's nice. All right, that is how we do this problem. I will see you on the next one. Thanks.